everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you for dropping back in and listening to some more of my study abroad stories. So, this is about that one time that I forgot my passport. Yep, I sure did. And prior to that, I had never forgotten my passport before. And after that, I'd never forgotten my passport again. And so, this is truly that one time that I forgot my passport. So, I'll explain pretty much what I was doing. I was going on spring break. And so that was the year of 2017 spring break because I was abroad a full year, 2016 and 2017. So the time period that I was going to be gone, spring break fell on Semana Santa. So I'm no one's history teacher. I just want to give a preface of what Semana Santa is. So it kind of gives you an idea of what was going on in the city when I was leaving. And so pretty much Semana Santa is called Holy Week. It takes place usually during the week of spring break or what would be spring break for the students. And so here's an explanation. Holy Week in Spain is the annual tribute of the Passion of Jesus Christ, celebrated by Catholic religious brotherhoods and fraternities that perform penance processions on the streets of almost every Spanish city and town during the last week of Lent, the week immediately before Easter. And so if you're confused, look it up. They're known for doing this. It's been quite some time, and pretty much it's Holy Week or Semana Santa. So the reason why I brought this up is because it was unfortunate. I was going to miss out on a huge cultural piece of my experience in Spain at the time. And it sucks because I was like, damn, it would have been nice to be able to see that in person. But the reason why I pointed out is because I was getting the night before, the day before, I was like getting ready to leave, but I was also, kicking it with folks that I wasn't going to see because I was going to be gone. So I went to go see my host parents. I'd hung out with my friend Jasmine. I think I had done a whole lot of stuff. And so what that points out is like there were so many things leading up to this that I can kind of understand how I forgot it because there were so many things going on. I was, speaking to so many people. I was trying to get as much of the culture I could get in before I was going to be gone for a couple of days. So not even a couple, I was gone for like 10 days or something like that. It was a very long trip. So anyway, I'll, talk about spring break in another video and go more into depth, but pretty much this is how I forgot it. I was busy doing other stuff. So I left the night prior to my flight. I was flying out of Malaga, which is like 2-3 hours south of Jaén. And I was gonna take a bus, or no, was it train? It was bus. I was gonna take a bus down to Malaga. So the night prior, I took the bus down, made it all the way to the hostel, and that's when I realized I didn't have my passport. So how did that happen? Because you gotta transportation, you need ID. Well, I don't know how it is now, but at the time we had Spanish ID cards. And so I was able to travel with throughout the country with just an ID. I didn't need my passport, just like how it is in the United States. You have a driver's license, you have a state ID or something like that. It's a form of identification that you don't need something as intense as a passport. And so how I had boarded the bus was with my Spanish ID. How I got into the hostel was with my Spanish ID. And so I was standing in line. I had taken, gotten all the way to the hostel. I had taken in a standing in line, taking my purse out, and I was looking through so I could use my passport. For some reason, I was trying to use my passport to get into the hostel. Something told me, oh, use your passport. So I pull it out. It might have been that I needed it. I feel like to check into the hostel, I needed a passport. I don't know. For some reason, that is telling me what that was. But so I was trying to find it and I couldn't find it. So they let me check in with my Spanish ID. And then I went to my bed and I am pulling everything out, like pulling everything out of my purse, pulling everything out of my, all the things. I'm like going through my bag. So I had a carry-on, I had a backpack, and then I had a purse on me. So I'm like ravaging through everything. And then I was like, you know what? I need to call Lois. So Lois was one of my roommates when I was in Spain. And so I either called her or messaged her and asked her, can you go in my room and check to see if you see my passport? And she told me, yep, it's right here on the desk. And it was on my nightstand. And so, sweet Lord, I literally looked up the next bus out of Malaga. By the time I had gotten there, there was no no more buses to High End that night. And so I woke up early as all get out before the sun rose. It was dark as all get out, and I hustled my way back to the bus station, got on the first bus to High End, walked up the hill to my apartment, walked in my door, grabbed my passport off of the desk, closed my door, walked right back to the bus station because I had booked a bus that was leaving right after I got into High End. And so I had to book it up to this hill. So High End is on a hill. So the bus station is here. My apartment, you got to go up the hill, and it's like towards the top of the hill. And so I'm like the things that I had to do for this. And so I ended up getting back on the bus. My flight, I had missed my first flight. I had to buy another flight to Malaga. And the reason why it was such a big deal was because, number one, in the country, I could get around with my ID. Without my passport, I couldn't get back into Spain. I couldn't get into any other country. And so it was one of those things where it was like, I have to go back and get my passport. Um, and I was gonna be gone for a while. My first stop was Rome. After that, I went to Pisa. I think, no, that's incorrect. It was Rome. Then I went to Athens. Then I went to Pisa. And then I went to London and then Paris. It was something like that, or Paris and then London. And so this was like a thing. I needed my passport. So I had to go back, get it, and all that for a trip that I had planned. And it was crazy because I was so organized. Like I had everything planned out. Like before I did this trip, this was going to be the first time that I had gone by myself for such a long time. I had gone on solo trips before to different places that I wanted to go to, but I didn't think anybody was going to join me. And so, but this was the first time that I was going to be gone and the farthest away that I had ever been. So Athens was as far as fuck. If you've ever looked up Greece on a map, that shit is far, and it felt far. So I was like, this was a big deal. I had everything organized. I had Google Sheets and Excel sheets and all this spreadsheets full of information, like confirmation numbers, where I was supposed to be, the specific times I was supposed to be there, the names of hostels, the different activities that I wanted to do. A couple of the trips, or a couple of the countries I'd had. I worked for this or interned for this travel company while I was over abroad, and they because I had earned some free trips. And so some of these trips I took my free trips on. So for Rome, actually that's not true. I paid for Rome. So I went on a trip with them. I had also done a trip with, it was London that I had also done with them. And so I had all this information, and I'm a very organized person. So I made sure to have all those things, which weren't necessarily a necessity. It just kind of made my life easier. The one thing that I needed, I left. So that was the first and last time that I ever forgot my passport. And I hope you all enjoyed this story. If you have any other thoughts or feelings or questions, or maybe things that you want me to cover, feel free to drop them in the comments. And thanks for watching.